Creepy facts about printing history that will haunt you. The book you're holding right now might be made from human bones. The ink could contain actual blood, and the printing process killed more people than you'd ever imagine. These aren't myths. These are documented historical facts that will haunt you forever. I researched the darkest secrets of printing history. What I found will change how you see every book, newspaper, and piece of paper forever. Let's start with the most disturbing fact in printing history. For over 300 years, your books were literally made from dead people. This isn't some conspiracy theory. Historical records show that from the 1600s to the late 1800s, European paper mills had a massive problem. They needed raw materials for paper, and rags weren't enough. So what did they do? They hired bone pickers to collect bones from battlefields. The Battle of Waterloo in 1815 provided tons of human bones that were shipped to paper mills across Europe. Look at this 1822 newspaper headline: "Bones from Leipzig battlefield arrive at Yorkshire mills." They weren't hiding it. This was common knowledge. These bones were ground into powder and mixed with rags to make paper. That love letter from the 1800s, that first edition novel, could literally contain ground-up human remains. But somehow, that's not even the most disturbing part. The paper was horrifying enough. But wait until you hear about the ink. For centuries, the most common ink was called iron gall ink. Sounds innocent, right? Here's what it was actually made from: oak tree galls, iron sulfate, gum arabic, and often blood. Human blood, animal blood. Whatever they could get their hands on. There is a 1398 manuscript recipe that literally says, "Add blood of goat or man for richness of color." This wasn't rare, it was standard. Why blood? Because blood contains iron, and iron made the ink darker and more permanent. So when you look at medieval manuscripts, Renaissance books, even some documents from the 1700s, you're literally looking at blood on paper made from bones. But here's the kicker. This ink was basically poison. Historical records show that printers in the 1600s had a life expectancy 15 years shorter than average. It's because they were constantly exposed to toxic chemicals. The bones and blood were bad enough, but the printing process itself was a death trap that created something medieval people thought was supernatural. Printers used lead type, literally poisonous metal, combined with that acidic blood ink I just told you about. Workers would inhale lead dust and toxic fumes for 12 to 16 hours a day. They called it printer's palsy, but it was actually severe heavy metal poisoning. Printers would hallucinate, lose coordination, and slowly go insane. This led to something terrifying. Look at these documented cases from the 1400s and 1500s. Printers claimed their presses were haunted. 1476 in Venice. Printer Aldus Manutius recorded that his press would print words that were never said in type. In 1523 in Germany, a printer swore his press printed an entire page backwards overnight. For centuries, people believed printing presses were cursed. They called the mysterious errors work of the printer's devil. But now we know the truth. It wasn't supernatural, it was poison, hallucinating, trembling workers using primitive equipment while slowly dying from lead and acid exposure. Here's where everything connects in the most disturbing way possible. Picture this: workers grinding human bones into powder, mixing blood into acid ink, setting type made of poisonous lead, all while slowly going insane from chemical exposure. For 400 years, from roughly 1450 to 1850, this was the book industry. Every Bible, every novel, every newspaper was created through this process of death and poison. Historians estimate that European paper mills processed the remains of millions of battlefield casualties. The Napoleonic Wars alone provided enough bones to supply paper mills for decades. This means some of history's most important documents, Shakespeare's first folios, the Gutenberg Bible, the Declaration of Independence, they could all contain human remains and blood. But here's the most haunting part. Those cursed books with printing errors. They're still out there. Libraries worldwide have thousands of books that are literally disintegrating because the acidic blood ink is eating through the bone paper from the inside out. So the next time you walk into an old library or bookstore, remember what you're really looking at. Centuries of human remains bound together with blood and poison, created by workers who were slowly dying from their craft. The phrase knowledge is power hits different when you realize that knowledge was literally built on death. If this video completely destroyed your ability to look at old books the same way, smash that like button and subscribe, because next week, I'm revealing the deadly secrets of the Victorian books. And next time you're holding an antique book, just remember, you might literally be touching the remains of someone who died 200 years ago. On our channel, we talk everything print. Tips, tricks, mysteries, and secrets. Subscribe for more stories that will change how you see the world of words forever. Hit that notification bell because you never know when we'll uncover the next mind-bending truth about what you're reading right now.